Hello and welcome back. All right, so we're going to start building this login registration system today, okay, right now. But we have to do a couple things first. The first thing I'd like for you to do is just go ahead and comment, like, subscribe. If you guys find something extremely helpful, please comment. If you guys have questions, I may not get to them because there's too many people on too many platforms asking questions, and so help each other out. Let's build a community, and we can all help one another grow and learn. Okay, so let me go ahead and switch over to my screen here. And what I'd like for you to do is go ahead and open a terminal, and let's just make sure that your XAMPP is up and running. So for me, it's sudo /opt lamp /examp start. Put in my password, and mine is already running. This is what you should see as well. And if you see this, you are ready to go. So then let's go ahead and let's create some files that we're gonna need. And so I'd like for you to do is do it in the terminal. We could do it in our code editor, but let's do it in the terminal. So go ahead and cd into your htdocs folder for yours. And for me, it's opt lamp htdocs. And if I ls here, it'll show what I already have in here, but that's not important. We're going to create a new directory. And so we do that with the make mkdir, and then we'll just call this login. Okay, so now if we cd into login, we have, if I print working directory, you can see that I'm inside the login directory inside of opt lamp htdocs. Okay, so inside of here for now, all we're going to do is let's create one more. Let's make directory, and let's create a directory called styles. Now if I ls, we just have that directory called styles, and let's for now just create two files. The first file that we're going to create by using the touch command, remember, is we're going to create a register.php file, and then we'll do a space and we'll type in styles /styles.css. And if I ls now, you can see we have a register.php file and we have our styles directory. If I ls styles, you can see that I have the styles.css file inside of that. Okay, so now we have the files that we're going to use in this video. So let's go ahead now and do two things. One, in our browser, go ahead and let's navigate to localhost /register.php. Oops, I'm sorry about that. It's localhost / we have to give it the name of our directory, so login /register.php. All right, so now we have a blank screen, so we're good to go there. Now let's go ahead and open it up in our editor. So whatever you have open here, I'm in VS Code, just hit File, and we're going to open a folder, and then navigate here in your, I'll show you mine. So I go to computers, mine's in opt lamp, and then we have the htdocs, and then we are going to open this login. Okay. Now that we have that open, you can see that our styles directory is right here with styles.css and register.php. So go ahead and double click on register.php. This is a file we're going to be working in. We're just going to go ahead and do the HTML for our register form. So let's get started on that. So go ahead and create an HTML5 document. If you're in VS Code, you can do just an exclamation and then hit tab, and it will create the bare bones for a login registration. Now, let's go ahead in the title and just type login register or something like that, or just give it a unique name for your project. So I'm just going to say login/register. You can call that whatever you want. Okay, so then what we're going to do is inside of the body tag right here, let's just create a div, and we're going to give it a class of page dash wrapper. So now we have a div with a class of page wrapper. So we got the closing tag there, and inside of that, let's create another div with class, and I'll do this kind of old school, so we'll do div class equals, and we'll give it a class of well, and we'll go ahead and close that tag, and we'll go ahead and give ourselves some space there. So go ahead, and we're going to be doing all of our code inside of this. So we have page wrapper inside of our body, we have page wrapper, and then we have our div. Let's go ahead and link our CSS file, even though we haven't done anything with it yet. So up here in our head, let's just do it here underneath the title. Just type link. Link. Okay. Thanks a lot, VS Code. I guess it's not going to help me out here. So what we'll do is we're going to link, and we'll do a relationship of style sheet. Okay, and then the href is going to be CSS, and I call this styles /styles.css. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and close that. So now we have our CSS file linked here, and we have this opening, we have these tags here in our body. What I'd like to do is go ahead and give yourself a space here, and we'll indent one more over. And let's go ahead and give this an H2 for our page title here. So inside the H2, what I'd like to do is let's just do register. All right. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to have, if you remember in our form, is we had a form error. So let's go ahead and put a place for that to be, and we'll use an unordered list for that. And we'll give that a class equal to errors. We'll close that unordered list, and then inside of here, just for now, go ahead and do one list item and put this is, or just type there is an error, and we'll just have that here so we can style it up. Even though there's not actually an error, we're just putting the HTML for it there. So far we're only doing HTML, so you should, if you've taken the HTML course, you should be kind of tracking. We're doing an H2 here, which will just be a heading 2, and an unordered list to hold our errors in. And we've set up some classes. We haven't done anything with these classes yet, so don't worry about that. We're going to style everything up in the next video. The next thing we'll do is we're going to create a form, and for the action on this form, go ahead and put register.php, and we'll give it a method equal to post. Okay, so remember this form, this is going to allow us to have an HTML form. The action is where it posts to when they submit the form, and the method is either going to be get or post in most cases. So this is going to be post, because we're not going to do a get for our method. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create our form fields, and our form fields are going to follow a very strict pattern so that we can style them. And so what we're going to do is put all of our form fields inside of a div, and we're going to create a div with a class of form-group. Okay, so we have this div right here inside of our form with a class of form-group, and then we'll create a label. And on the for, we're going to do first underscore name. And then inside of the label, let's just go ahead and type first space name. And then we'll go ahead and give it an input. The type will be text, that's fine. And then we'll do the name is going to be equal to first underscore name. We'll also give it an ID equal to first underscore name. Okay, and then let's go ahead and give it a placeholder, also with first space name. So let's save that, and let's just see where we're at in the browser. Just refresh here. Okay, good. So this is what yours should look like so far. Remember, we have our header tag. So this is our H2 right here. And then we have a unordered list that has one error in it for now. And then we have a form group with a label and an input. And that input has a placeholder of first name. So if I can type in there. So that's good to go. The next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to copy and paste these form groups that we created just to save us some time. So go ahead and highlight from this div, this closing div, to the opening div on our form group, and I'm going to hit Control C, and we'll skip down a few lines here and paste that. And we're going to change this one from first name to last name. Okay, so all these instances, make sure you change them all, and make sure that they all match. So we have our name. So if I save that now and refresh, now we have a first name and a last name. Don't worry about how this looks. We're going to style all this up soon with our CSS. The next thing that we'll do is let's create our email. So I'm going to copy this one again, skip down a few lines and paste that. And now in the for, let's just put email. And right here in the label, we'll change that to email as well. The placeholder, we'll change that to email. And then for the name and ID, those will also be email. There we go. So if you have all of that done, this is our email field. So I can save that and refresh. And now you see we have a first name, last name, email. So we're going to need a couple more here. We're going to need a password and a confirm password. So let's go ahead and copy this. And for here, let's just go ahead and type in password, all lowercase. Inside our label, we're going to change that to password. Our placeholder will be password. For type, we're going to also, well, let's leave that to text for now, and I'm going to show you this, but change the name and the ID to password. Let's save that and take a look now. And now we have this field for our password, but if someone starts typing in their password, that is visible. So someone could just look over their shoulders and see what their password is when they're typing it in. So that's not very secure. So what we're going to do there, in order to change that, is in the input here, the type, we're going to change that type to password as well. And what that will do, if we go back, save it and go back, now when I type into this password field, it hides, it just puts a bunch of dots there and it hides the actual text that's in there. Okay, so then we're going to do one more of those. So let's copy that password form group, give ourselves a line of space and paste that. And now what we're going to do is change the for to confirm. We're going to keep the type as password, and we're going to change the name and the ID of the input to confirm. And in the placeholder, we're going to type confirm password. All right, we'll save that and refresh. And now we have, oops, I forgot to change the label. So inside of the label here, this also needs to be confirm space password. So let's save and refresh. And now we have first name, last name, email, password, confirm password. So that's all the fields we need. Now we're going to go ahead and we need a submit button that they can submit this. So then what we're going to do is let's skip down a few lines after that closing form group div, and let's create a new div, and we're going to give this a class of button-wrapper. And inside of that, we're going to create a button tag, and we'll go ahead and put register right there, and give it this button a class equal to button space button dash primary. Okay, and let's go ahead and save that and refresh. And now you can see that there is a register button there. The last thing that we need for our HTML is we're going to give it a link at the bottom. So let's create a paragraph tag here. And inside the paragraph tag, let's type already have an account with a question mark, then do a space, and let's put an anchor tag in here. So href equals, and we're going to take them to a login.php. Login. All right, so let's go ahead and save that now and refresh. And now we have this already have an account, and then they can click login. Now if they click login, that's going to be an error because we haven't created that file yet, and that's fine. So I'm going to hit back to go back to our register.php. So this is what, at the end of this video, this is what your page should look like right now, which is pretty ugly, but that's okay. We're going to take care of that with our CSS in the next video. I'm going to go ahead and scroll through this file again. You make sure you look at this and make sure you don't have any syntax errors here. You can pause the video or rewind it or fast forward it or whatever you need to do so that you can see everything in this file. Once you have that, if your file looks like my file, and let's just check one more thing to make sure we're good. So I'm going to go back to the browser. I'm going to right click and hit inspect, and then let's go to sources and just make sure that you have sources style.css and it's loading there. If you do, then that means you've linked in your CSS file correctly, and we're ready to do our CSS in our next video. So this is the HTML for the register form. I think we'll stop there, and I will see you in the next video.